In you, I see a generation that has rekindled the passion and the energy of the civil rights era. You see, I grew up steeped in that passion. My parents met as graduate students, marching for civil rights in Berkeley. And growing up, my heroes were the great civil rights lawyers, Charles Hamilton Houston, Constance Baker Motley, Thurgood Marshall. But by the time I graduated from law school, the pendulum had swung back. It was the beginning of the reign of Wall Street, a time when many of our most talented young people were swept up in the pursuit of profit in an era of laissez-faire individualism. But graduates, you understand the lessons we only learned the hard way. You've seen how things can crash when we abandon our moral compass. You've seen how fiscal policies based on unrestrained greed are neither economically sustainable nor morally acceptable. You've seen the impact of these policies cascading across billions of human lives around the globe. And you know that a nation's economic success cannot simply be measured by what happens on Wall Street alone. In fact, it's got to be built on Main Street, brick by brick and business by business. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look out at these graduates, I see a group of practical idealists. I see the same generation that came of age as the towers fell on 9/11. I see the same generation that grew up understanding the tragic cost of our hubris in Iraq. I see the same generation that understands the immediacy of our connection to a wider world, a generation that can see the rising tide of climate destruction spilling into their own lives and the lives of our children. I see a generation that won't stand for predatory lending and white-collar crime, not when the American dream is at stake. I see a generation willing to take on the tough fights and the sacred cows. Once and for all, banning military-style assault weapons and reforming our prison system and putting politics aside and fixing our broken budget process. And I know all the world will come to see a generation of believers, young men and women whose beliefs have been fully formed in that forge of a lived experience. And as products of the University of San Francisco, as masters trained in a timeless and the timeless values of the Jesuit tradition, in you we see the past meeting the future. We see men and women carrying forward the fundamental idea of this great university, the life of the mind and the encounter with the world. It's simply a belief in public service as a duty, a basic obligation flowing from our very humanity, an obligation applying equally to everyone at all times, when you're up and when you're down, when it costs you nothing and when it costs a lot, whether you're the DA or an MBA. Graduates, you know it is that service that is a duty. So this is your time. And remember that times of crisis are also times of great opportunity. Remember the perspective afforded by USF's magnificent view and the spirit of St. Ignatius, the life of the mind and the duty to serve. So chart your course with these lessons in mind and get out there, get your hands dirty, get it done, because your country needs you, and we know you can do it. Thank you very much, and congratulations.